I guess we have all understood that there is something more to life than just running around, and we are here to, get something more out of that. It is either when you attend talks by, say, Sameer is talking about the mind, or Dr. Balu is talking about being, then there is something more that we understand. Is it something that we are missing in our rush? Why is disease happening? Can we move to the other end of the spectrum, and can we talk about preventive health? And can we just not, when we talk of disease or infection or illness or anything, we just give a prescription and we follow it. But can we understand what is it that made me sick? Why is it that today I am not feeling well? Why do I feel happy on certain days? Why do I feel sad? Why does my mood, from being happy in the morning, throughout the day I become sad, I become angry, I become furious. It could be on someone, it could be because of you get some message on WhatsApp which infuriates you. Could be your partner, could be your children, could be your neighbor, your work manager, anybody, or could be just yourself, you and your thoughts. So is it something more than just what happens to these hormones in our body? And we want to feel well, isn't it? If I ask you now today, are you feeling well now? Are you feeling good? And why is it so?
I did my fitness class.
You did your fitness class. Are you feeling good now? Having these cravings, I want to have that big cup of coffee, I just need it, or I need to gorge on some French fries, or I just need that cheesecake, I just can't do without it, but that's okay. But if this happens every day and you don't feel too good, so hormones, when we talk about hormones, we usually associate hormones only with women. Okay, women get hormonal, they get PMS, they get all kind of problems, okay, and men kind of, no, I am good, I don't have any problems with my hormones, but that's not the case. In fact, like we talk about PMS for women, there is something called IMS for men, and that's irritable man syndrome, right? But only thing is that probably they don't bring it out as much as we do, because all of us have hormones, right? So there are different hormones.
Night sweats and hot flashes also?
They do, but sometimes it's just that because they predominantly have testosterone hormone and we have estrogen progesterone, but they also have estrogen progesterone, the female hormones. All men also, so all men and women, initially we were all females. When we were all little tiny babies inside the womb, we were not male and female till around 6 or 7 weeks. We were all just females. And only when from 7 weeks onwards, the male hormone, the testosterone, starts developing, that it differentiates into male and female. So women have the male hormone too, right? It's just for ease that we have categorized it into male hormone and female hormone, right? But all females have testosterone, which is a male hormone, and all men have estrogen progesterone, which is supposed to be the female hormone, right? So all these things can happen to both men. So basically, what are hormones? So if you just understand the brain, that is where our thoughts start from also. So you have a very tiny, teeny structure in our brain that's called the hypothalamus, and that controls another tiny structure which is called the pituitary in our brain. And this hypothalamus and pituitary, these are very tiny knob like organ structures, and they make sure that all these hormones are very tiny chemical messengers. It's like an SMS or a message which goes from me to you. So if I am the hypothalamus and I want to control him, I'm going to send you a message and you control him, right? So this poor guy doesn't know who's controlling, but that's how it is, right? So to understand, and these the hormones, if you see the next slide, they are everywhere. We have something in the thyroid gland is in the neck, so that produces a hormone, thyroxine. You have adrenals, these are tiny structures on top of our kidneys. These produce cortisol or the steroid hormone. If you feel you are energetic in the morning, why is it so? Why don't you go for a walk at 2 AM at night? Because that's the time we are designed to sleep. That's the time that melatonin, another hormone, is high. That is also produced from the brain, and that puts us to sleep. And that reduces in the morning. And morning times, at 7 and 8 o'clock is when the cortisol, which is released from the adrenals, is at its peak, and that is why we are so energetic in the morning. Insulin is again a hormone. Don't just think of insulin as something to do with diabetes, because insulin is another hormone. It's a growth hormone. It helps us again feel energetic and work around, but because of the food that we are eating or because of the exercise that we don't know, sometimes this insulin can again go all topsy-turvy. As I told you, testosterone is the male hormone and estrogen, progesterone are predominantly the female hormones. Now if I were to show you this slide, what would you choose? To offer you a donut and an apple now, be honest. You take the donut? You'll take the apple? What about you? Yeah. So that's because our brain is more tuned to taste. Okay, when we look at something that you like, or cheesecake?
Another type of cake.
Okay, another cake. Yeah, of course. So that is the only purpose that I have brought you today on a Saturday morning to spend 1 hour with me. The next time you get something, just give some more time to think. Is this good for my brain or not good for my brain? That's all. Just remember this slide. And that because when we keep adding a lot of fat and salt to our diet every day, day in and day out, I'm not talking about eating sparingly, but when it goes day in and day out, because what do we do? What is something that we do every day? 3 times a day. So but how much thought are we putting into what we eat? Sometimes it's easier to order. So because you have so much of apps and they are in such lovely colors. You've heard about Black Friday. I heard yesterday about Yellow Friday, because you know some company which has, I don't want to name anybody, a company which has yellow predominantly is now saying Yellow Friday. So we are just getting seduced by all these different colors and you know the tastes and all of that, and we don't know where that mindfulness becomes mindlessness. We all know this. When you have a plate of food in front of you, you're going to have some carbohydrates, you're going to have some protein, some fats, amino acids and micronutrients, and all of these foods do affect our mood, right? You feel sad. What do you want to do when you feel sad? So you got yourself a cup of tea. Was it part of habit or was it?
Yeah, just when it's cold in the room, so like a hot drink.
Hot drink, yeah.
Sometimes water. So it's
Water also. When you feel sad, what do you want to do? Sleep? Eat what? What is your favorite comfort food? Bread? Of course. So sweet, chocolates, all of these are, or your wafer or chips, whatever, these are all comfort foods. So you eat these comfort foods, sugar goes up, salt goes up, our happy hormone serotonin goes up, and it stays for some time and then it crashes down and then we go again. So it is because of the interplay of all these hormones. But is it good for the brain? Probably not, because our brain needs a lot of other things for the good hormones to be formed. For example, you have good proteins, good amino acids, and also if you can just take back today something called omega-3. Have you heard of omega-3? So omega-3 again is, in fact, it's been linked to prevent. How many of us want to grow old, look very old, look aged, and want to get into dementia and all of those things? How many of us would want to work towards that? Probably not. You want to avoid, isn't it? Would I want to be in that situation? I've seen my grandmother go through dementia. I wouldn't. I would rather go before that, right? So what can you do from today to add a little bit more of omega-3? So we all know about fat is good, fat is bad. What is your perception? Do you think fat is good or fat is bad? Fat is bad? Depends.
now they're saying it's good.
Now they're saying it's good. But then again, there are different types of fats, because when you talk about healthy fats, so do you take any healthy fats? So not all fat. If you can just remember something called trans fat. So trans fat is bad. And I just want you from today, when you go to the supermarket, number one, don't go when you're hungry. Don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry, because what they do is, as you enter itself, you will have something which is really going to tempt you, right? And make a list. Do you make lists when you go to the supermarket? You do? Yeah. You don't.
I go, she makes the list.
Oh, she makes a list, fine. But then, do you follow the list?
Strictly.
Strictly.
To the brand.
Or maybe you get something and put it in your car.
I get extra when I see.
So the first thing is, from today onwards, you make a list when you go to your, and you know, we don't binge shop, right? And then just read the labels. Because what we think as food, it could be processed food. And how many of you look at the labels also for everything? You do?
I'm dirty eating.
You do?
I'm not anymore.
Not at all.
I used to.
Why did you stop?
Because I know what I get the same things every time,
Mhm.
so I know I already know what I'm getting this.
Okay, but that means you're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, but you're not getting anything in the package. Rarely. Start reading labels, because sometimes it's, and if you start reading labels, you will find that they're very, very tiny fine print. Even with the reading glasses, sometimes you can't understand what is in that, isn't it? So that's the problem. So read the labels, just look at the sugars, just look at the salt, just look at the trans fat. So when you say fat is bad, trans fat is bad, but we need fat. So not all fats are bad, because fat is what makes up our brain. If you were to squeeze your brain and take out all the water from it, more than 50% would be fat. So you need good fats for good brain functioning. And what are the sources of good fats, if anyone can tell me? So that our brain is working well, hypothalamus is working well, pituitary is working well, and we are sending out good hormones to the body, and then our body works well, and then we don't gain weight, we don't feel tired, we don't age. That's the best thing. Or you even do reverse aging. Nowadays we talk about reverse aging. There are many tests available these days, with which just by a simple blood test, I can tell you if I am 45, that blood test will tell me, am I really 45, or is my body the body of a 35-year-old or a 55-year-old? So then I can work towards bringing it to the goal where I want to be. So if you are 60, your age could be 70, depending on how your body is. The test measures what is called, so we are all made up of DNA, and DNA damage is what, and inflammation, and that is what is, you know, causing ill health, right? So DNA and genes and gender, we have a genetic tendency. Many people say, I have a tendency to put on weight because that's in my family, or I will get diabetes because it's in my family, but it doesn't mean that you invite it. What happens above the genes is epigenetics, and that is what you can control, the environment and all the other things that, you know. So genetics is what you have, epigenetics is above it. Your food, your nutrition, smoking, alcohol, sleep, and all the other things, meditation, all the other things are epigenetics. So the blood test measures your DNA and how damaged your DNA is, and it can even tell you, you know, are you eating the right food, or are you smoking too much or drinking too much, or what you can change to come closer to the age you want to be. So you could be 60, but you could have a body of a 40-year-old. Which I think we all want, isn't it? See, when you're young, when you talk to a 15-year-old, they'll be like, you know, that time you're carefree. In your 20s and 30s is a time you take yourself for granted. And only when you cross that 35 or 40s, you realize, okay, the healthiest people on the planet, I think now are the 60 plus, because they are really taking care, and, you know, and those in the middle are kind of confused. So the good fats are going to be rich in omega-3. Our usual cooking oils have omega-6 and omega-9, right? But too much of omega-6 and 9 causes more inflammation, but omega-3 is a good fat. And I'm sure you take it, but you don't know. So if you could tell me yesterday, what did you eat the whole day? What I eat in a day is something all celebrities do it, and we follow it like crazy, isn't it? Starting from morning, or how do you start your day? To you. It's a challenge now, coffee challenge.
Green tea kind of kadha.
Okay, green tea, okay, kada, lot of superfoods and masalas added to it, okay. So answering your question, healthy fats are in nuts, almonds, walnuts. You don't need to pack it like salted, roasted almonds or salted walnuts, no, so just like that. So you could just take 2 walnuts per day maybe if you like it. So there are more than 800 plus foods which are these superfoods which we can add. So I am not I'm not here to advise you, we are all adults, stop. I tell my daughter, she will not listen. So who can I advise, right? That don't take this, don't, no, I am not going to do that. It's just mindfulness from today or tomorrow into what you are eating and adding a few stuff to your diet, yeah. 2. Just start with 2. 2 will not harm you. That's what I'm telling you. You can take 2 walnuts maybe. If you don't like walnuts, you like almonds, you can take almonds. But almonds again, just taking almonds like that will not help you. You need to soak them overnight, take the peel off, because that brown skin has tannins which will prevent absorption of anything good which is inside the almond. So don't take the almonds just like that. Just remember to soak it at night and peel it, and that will increase not only the vitamins, reduces cholesterol, all of those other things of almonds. It's different for different people, no? For some people the cup is so big, this big, not so big, I don't think. Yeah, so maybe you can keep a count of a number. See, I am not here to change your life and lifestyle. You will run away, you will not come and see me again after this. I am just trying to fool your habits little gently. You know, so what, I'll be lazy, so I will just put them in the microwave. But then we do it, yeah. This is all wisdom which is there. It is nothing new. Because the skin of the almond contains something which will prevent our body to absorb anything that is good in it.
What about the walnut?
Walnut, you can, if you want to soak, or walnut we can take. Walnut is good. You don't need to take out, you need to take out that outer shell. But the walnut you can have like that. Yes, yes, yes. You can just have it like that. Yeah. So you could maybe have 5 of that, because a cup is, again, you can't measure it. And other sources of healthy fats are avocado, right? So but again, you don't overdo it. So you have maybe, so you mix, so you make your own meal plan. Like you said, start cooking. I think that's the best thing that you can do. The day you start cooking your own food, maybe, okay, not 3 times a day, 7 days a week, but then most of the days, at least 5 days a week, 4 days a week, if you know this is something which I am buying from scratch, my source of food, and that will help. So the best source of omega-3, however, is seeds. If you have heard of these seeds called flax and chia, right? But again, many of us don't consume it the proper way. So how do you add your seeds? So again, a day is like breakfast. You could just, so starting your day ideally would be with warm water. Now you will say, water is such a simple thing. Why are you here to, you know, on a Saturday morning telling me about water? I know about water, I know. We have to drink 2 liters of water. But again, where are you storing the water is important. We are getting it in plastic cans, of course, but then you can store it. Some people store it in copper vessels and have that, or just when you warm it a little bit, or when you boil and cool it. If it's a little warm when you drink, it helps in your metabolism, right? Your metabolism is improving, and if you, what I do is I just add, and I am not a saint. This is something I've been doing for the past 2 years, and I can see the difference. Because my cholesterol used to be always 200 plus. I have a family history of heart disease and all of that, but I thought, no, I have to try to do something. Being a doctor, we don't know about nutrition. Nobody teaches us about nutrition too much, right? So flax and chia seed, I roast it and just keep it in a bottle and just have maybe half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of both together in warm water in the morning. And you could try it for the next 2 weeks and see if it makes any difference. I'm not telling you to stop having coffee. Maybe you have your coffee after your breakfast, because just having coffee alone, empty stomach, is again not good. Coffee or tea or whatever. So don't stop it. Maybe just shift the time to a little later and try to start your day. 2 weeks you can just see. Next 2 or 3 weeks, start your day with a glass of warm water with these seeds, because the richest source of omega-3 fatty acid, which is good for your brain, reduces cholesterol, has lot of fiber, will keeps your hormones in balance, will reduce your sugar, inflammation, all of that are these flax seeds and chia seeds.
You mix them with water?
You can just mix them with water, or best is you mix them with again something which is fatty like yogurt. If you take yogurt, again if you take yogurt in a day, mix it with that and have it, or oats, whatever. You don't need to grind them, but you should roast them. So again there is something in the covering of the roast, the chia and the flax. Yeah, so you can grind them too, you can do both, but roast and grind. So roasting takes away something called, because see, phytic acid is something which is in the covering of these seeds. These are plants. Plants are supposed to be, they are sometimes difficult to digest for some people. So that's because of the phytic acid which is in the covering. So just roast it, your chia and flax. There are so many. You have sunflower, you have pumpkin, you have hemp seeds. So I would not want you to put everything together and then you have a tummy upset and you say what rubbish doctor was talking. You're just adding value to what food you're eating. That's it. You're not drastically changing things, because then everyone will revolt, right? So you slowly bring in changes for these. So sometimes we think that, am I very anxious and my hormones are going all haywire, right? So however you feel the whole day, it is because of your hormones, right? For women, estrogen, progesterone plus cortisol plus all the insulin, all of that. For men also it's the same. It's your testosterone plus some estrogen, progesterone that you have, and the cortisol. So if I am not feeling okay, because when we go regularly to meet a doctor, you do go for a health checks and all of that. You do an ultrasound, you do an ECG, you do an echocardiogram, you do your blood tests, and what do they tell you? Yeah, you're fine, blah blah blah, and this and that. But we are not looking at the hormones, we are not looking at the stress. Dopamine is the reward chemical. Okay, when you feel happy, your dopamine goes up. Endorphin is a painkiller. When you are laughing, you are, all these essential oils, doing something that you like will increase endorphins in the body, and that helps with the pain. Serotonin is again a mood stabilizer, so when you are doing your meditation and having a walk, looking out at that beautiful, if you see there the sea, your serotonin is going to go up. That's your happy hormone. But how do we keep these kind of up most of the time, if not all? You were okay some time back, what happened to you suddenly? No, it's my hormones, right? So let's stop, just let's try to understand what has happened to me. Maybe if we keep a diary, I do that too. I'm happy in the morning, and I have, as I look at it, okay, in the evening between 5 and 8 I feel little low. Probably it is again your hormones and all of those things which are playing. So then you start writing about it and try to figure out, okay, can I make this better? Can I talk to someone? Can I write it down? Can I share these things? Okay, can I go for a walk? That's why when you go for a walk in the evening also, when you come back, I can see that when I don't do exercise for 2-3 days, I feel all low, I feel something is missing. And like I told you, like PMS for women, there is something called IMS for men, because testosterone determines all of that for men, their skin, their bones, so if you feel aches and pains all across, so it could not just be vitamin D, it could actually be. So when you go to a doctor, I'm having pain here, pain there, we'll do some blood tests, we'll give you vitamin D, we'll give you calcium, but it is probably the food that we are eating or we are not eating that is going to make all the difference. So we know this, estrogen comes down. Similarly for men also, the hormones come down, but then there are different foods with which we can, and this is of course, morning I was getting late, and this stress and clutter of day-to-day living, sometimes on weekends we kind of feel okay, I'm trying to be in balance, but when you start your Sunday morning or Monday morning, whichever part of the world you're working from, you get into all the stress, right? Grocery shopping, kids at school, emails. So the first 1 hour after you wake up, what do you do usually? Go for a walk. How many of us check their phone the first thing in the morning? I do it. I will not be dishonest and tell lies. When you start your day itself with your messages, your emails, your this and that, and your tone for the day becomes a lot of chaos, and this is happening. We are very busy, we are stressed, and then there is something called, and like I told you, there are these above our kidneys, there are these tiny adrenal glands which produces hormone called cortisol, and this cortisol again makes us, it is good if we were not to have any timings in our lives and we were not going to school on time, and that's what's happened to the children and so many people who have done online work. When you're working from home, it needs a lot of discipline to have your time frames, otherwise you just laze around, isn't it? So stress is important. I'm not saying that you don't need stress, but if you have this stress all the time, so you have a fire alarm which rings, we are alert, there is no fire, we are fine. But if the alarm is ringing all the time and we are under this stress all the time that I have to run, will we be able to live our day-to-day life at peace? I don't think so. But that's what happens when we sleep late, we don't eat well, and we have all these digestive problems. So what do you do about stress? How do you tackle? So you wake up in the morning, there is a stressful scenario. Like you say, there are different kinds, different ways, like even in the last talk, doctor was saying about being. So you go out, you have all these stresses and you collect lot of stuff, and then you come back home, you try to get rid of all of that, and you start a new day. Because that is very important. If we don't do that, then this stress keeps building up and our body is living in chronic stress, again hormone imbalance and all of the other problems, hair loss, dry skin, gaining weight or losing a lot of weight, not feeling good, and all of that is kind of interconnected. How can you find out if you have any hormone imbalance? There is a load of hormonal tests which are available, which if you are going through all these different kind of stresses and you're not keeping up, you have fatigue, tiredness, and then you think about hormone imbalance, because this is sometimes missed in a regular consultation. And like I said, we are what we eat. Definitely good food is good mood. So I'm sure none of us would refuse French fries if I were to give that to you. I will not give you a huge big list of good food or bad food. It's just that when you take stuff which has a lot of oil, which has a lot of salt, and like I said, trans fat, again your simple sugars go up and then it comes crashing down, and as the sugars go up and down, the body's insulin keeps going up and down, and all of these can lead on. Of course you feel very happy when you have a bag of fries, when you have a Coke, you have your favorite match going on, that's the best thing in the world. But then next time maybe you can remember me and reduce the portion or something like that. I'm not telling you to go off fries, not at all. Similarly, something as simple as milk, many people are going off dairy, worrying about hormones and this and that. So not all dairy is bad. You need to see the source of dairy from where you are getting, because again it's important that so you take animal milk or you're a vegan, almond milk, regular milk, almond milk. So I guess regular coconut milk. So we all, it's all it's all, one size is not fitting all. So whatever milk you take, remember again it's coming in a carton, read the label, read the preservatives, how long it's been stored, because the more you store something on your grocery shelf, the more preservative, the more chemicals. So even if you're taking regular milk, dairy, look at the source, from where is it coming, is it organic, is it cow's milk, what is that cow being fed, because again all of the hormones which are going into the animal or from wherever you are getting your milk, that hormones can get into your body and create, that's called the endocrine disruptors. So just remember that word too. Again, coffee, sometimes what happens is when you drink too much coffee also you can have nutritional deficiencies, because coffee again has this tannin, like in the almond skin, the same thing is there in coffee, and if you have coffee with your fruit, that's not going to get absorbed. So if you take your oatmeal, have the at least 2 hours gap between your tea or coffee. Okay, And also watch how many mls, because cup size will vary. For somebody this could be a small cup, for someone a short could be enough. So you have to see how much you're taking in. Again, something to read the label into. Corn syrup is something which is being used to add taste, and that is why all of this stuff, which is your fried chicken or whatever it is, the taste to it and the addictive nature comes from all of this corn syrup and artificially sweetened yogurts or salad dressings or things like that. So just the only message I want to give is to stay in balance. You are doing exercise, you are eating good food, but probably just start reading the labels little more carefully. And omega-3, like I told you, is very important. So like I said, avocado is a very good source. It is also a serotonin boosting vitamin and omega-3 fatty acid. Then this is how flaxseed looks like. So you can just roast it and powder it, or just add it into your smoothies, into your cereal, or just have it with plain warm water in the morning. Walnuts, again, good source of omega-3, dark chocolate. So just to summarize, look at, I'm not telling you to follow any particular diet, vegan or paleo or this or that. Eat normal home cooked food, eat your food, what you're eating, cook your food. Look at, are you taking enough healthy fat? Is there good quality calories? Are you drinking lot of water every day? The water, try to warm the water before you're drinking it, and just see it for 2-3 weeks. Is it making any difference? And of course, love more, hate less, because another hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin is not just a hormone which women have when they are pregnant or when they feed babies. It's a love hormone. So hate less, forgive more, move on, try to get more love into your life, and that's about it.